it keeps the whole Kedusha moving and it saves a little bit of time if you're in a time crunch, which is totally, it can happen, right? So the leader of the congregation, especially in Minyan Chadash, when we're trying to clean up for a Kiddush, which is, okay. Just to say that the situation can exist. We're not making judgments about it. So you would either say it with them, or they will say that line and you say that line immediately after them. So they go Baruch Kevod Adonai Mim Komo, or Baruch Kevod Adonai Mim Komo. They'll say Mim Komo, they won't say Mim Komo. We should say Mim Komo. It's proper Hebrew.
It's got a belly button, that's why.
It does. That's one clue.
It's a TED giveaway, that belly button.
Yeah, the Dagesh, exactly. So, Baruch Kivod Adonai Mim Komo. Good, going on. You would go on after you've done that one. Mim Komo Hu Yifen Berachamim. See the meteg under Yi? The little line. Mim Komo Hu Yifen Berachamim. Ve'yachonam. Ve'yachonam. Hameyachadim Shemo. Hameyachadim Shemo. Erev avoker bechol yom tamid, bechol yom tamid. Erev avoker bechol yom tamid. Pa'amayim be'ahava, pa'amayim be'ahava. Shema omrim, Shema omrim. Good. Or Shema omrim, which is probably even better.
Because,
Okay, Shema Omerim, and the reason why is because you want the
they want
to
something with a Shema.
Shema Yisrael, nice and strong. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Good. As the service leaders of Shliach Tzibor, you should be thinking about this: the separation of God's name from the words around it. You don't want to say Adonai Yeloheinu. God isn't yellow, nor is God Yechad. Right? So Adonai Eloheinu, a little glottal stop. It doesn't have to be daylight. It just has to be a glottal stop. You know what I mean by daylight? Adonai Eloheinu, that's daylight.
Yes.
But Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, just a tiny little, right? Just that glottal stop. So some people, in fact, some Sidurim even have psik,
I have
a little line.
Psik,
Psik means pause. So
it's a straight line.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great. Let's finish up the Kedusha, and we will. We started a little bit late, so we'll just finish up the Kedusha. Hu Eloheinu hu. By the way, these are all nusach. There's an opportunity in the Kedusha to do congregational melodies, and actually, I think I've recorded a version with nusach and a version with congregational melodies, like Mi Mekomo Hu Yifen Berachamim. But this course isn't really the scope of that. First, let's do nusach, and then, although to be honest, if you're going to be leading services, I would say it's actually better to learn the melodies. The congregation can sing along. You'll have a better rapport with the congregation. So, but it's most important to do the nusach first. Okay, so we're on Hu Eloheinu. In other words, as soon as you finish Shema, whether you're singing it with the congregation or not, you go on. Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu. I'll do it first, and then you'll do repeat after me. No, it's okay. I just wanted to remind you. Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu. There's our fourth. Remember? Yada. That's the last one item on the page there. Vehu Yashmienu berachamav shenit. Shenit le'enei kol chai. I said the word shenit twice. Imagine that, it's the word shenit. Okay? Lihiot lachem le'elohim. Okay? So, you don't have to though. Vehu yashmienu berachamav shenit le'enei kol chai. It's just it's a nice thing you can do.
It's nice. Also with this is our God, our Creator, also speeding up as well. Kind of give an emphasis through. You can. Is that something that's done?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, that uses the concept that we've talked about in the earlier classes of this session, the first three classes, the idea of a recitation tone. So we discussed that does two things. It either essentially rushes for the purpose of time or to get through less important words. In this case, Kedusha, not necessarily less important. But it also has a calming and sanctifying effect.
It's very meditative. It's very
That's the word we used, isn't it? It's meditative.
It sort of reminds people that they're in some sort of spiritual.
Yes, almost like a trance.
You get caught up in it and you go with it.
That's exactly right. So here that's what we have here. V'hu yashmi'enu barachamav shenit le'enei kol chai lihyot lachem le'elohim or le'elohim. Although you don't necessarily want to overdo it.
Okay.
Like some varieties, okay, so go up that time, go down the next time. It's also a very short line. It's not like a congregational melody recitation. So Le'Elohim. It's up to you. You're the leader. Okay. So let's do that paragraph. Repeat after me. Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu. Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu. Hu Malkeinu. Hu Malkeinu. Hu Moshienu. Hu Moshienu. Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav Shenit. Vehu yashmi'enu berachamav shenit le'enei kol chai, shenit le'enei kol chai, lihyot lachem le'elohim, or le'elohim is fine. However, I think I know why I don't do that. Because the note that the congregation comes in on is the low note. Le'elohim ani Adonai. If we're looking for them to do a fifth, in other words, an opening, yada, like Shema Yisrael, I could see that as guiding them with that upper note to that note, which is the more dominant note. It's not really about Shema, it's more Shema Yisrael, right? So here we're guiding them into the low note that Ani Adonai starts with. Le'elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. So Ani Adonai, we do not go up on our toes for that. Sorry, I forgot to mention, Baruch Kivod Adonai, we go up on our toes just for the Baruch. Baruch Kivod Adonai, so this one right here. Okay. I don't believe we go up on our toes for Ani Adonai, but it could just me being tired. I think not. But we do for Yimloch. Absolutely do for Yimloch. Okay, so we'll get there in a second. So then now we need to lead the congregation into a congregational melody, which is very traditional in New London Synagogue, and it's actually a blue book melody. The blue book is essentially the Anglo-Jewry hymnal. It's old.
Blue?
It's actually gray. Bummer. Whoever reprinted it just didn't do that right.
Didn't know it was called the Blue Book by then.
So it's called the British Blue Book, and it's a collection of pieces mostly by Israel Lazarus Mombach, with other composers thrown in as well. A lot of Lewandowski. It's the staples of British choral music. A lot of anthems. Like Havul Adonai v'nei yeah.
Love an anthem.
Exactly. So what we're about to sing now, Uvdivrei Kodshecha, leads us into that. So we do Uvdivrei Kodshecha katuv le'mor. Uvdivrei Kodshecha katuv le'mor, which leads the congregation into, and you absolutely can and maybe even should sing along with them to let them know you want them to do this. This might be higher for you. Yimloch Adonai le'olam Elohayich Tzion L'Dor Vador Hallelujah. And then I always want to sing Michael Royer Barashar. Sorry, Jews. Okay. Not our angel. Okay, so we've just done Uvdivrei Kodshecha Katuv Le'mor. So do that. Uvdivrei kodshecha katuv le'mor. And then right into Yimloch Adonai le'olam Elohayich Zion L'Dor Vador Hallelujah. So that's a little foray into what is essentially Hashem Malach, but it's not really because it's a congregational melody.
With the Zion, can you do that, or should you keep it?
Zion. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? If it fits.
Okay.
If the nusach fits, sing it.
Okay.
The shoe fits, wear it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the cap fits, yeah.
If it doesn't work, the nusach will hit the floor, so don't. The nusach will hit the floor. Okay. And then to finish up the Kedusha, L'Dor Vador, which is sort of part of the Kedusha and sort of isn't. It's part of the Kedusha in that it is still talking about holiness, Ha'el HaKadosh, but at the same time, the congregation no longer, as of the beginning of L'Dor Vador, no longer has to keep their feet together. Okay? But us, as Shlichei Tzibor, we do. We keep our feet together for the entirety of Musaf. However, if you were suddenly to lose your balance or absolutely need to move, that would be like the first opportunity that, I used to, although I don't anymore, I more or less keep my feet together now, but I used to also, because the best singing is with your feet shoulder width apart.
Yeah.
And so I used to then position my feet shoulder width apart for the rest of the service. But it's probably better not to, because they're still bending and bowing to do, and that we should do with our feet together.
Yeah.
But in the heiche Kedusha, we actually don't hit those bends and bows.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. Did Joanne make it tonight?
No, she got delayed in traffic and.
Oh right. Okay. Fine. No worries. Okay. Right. Sorry to interrupt.
Not at all. So back to Nusach. L'Dor Vador nagid godlecha ulenetzach netzachim kedushatecha nagdish v'shivchacha Eloheinu. There's a million ways to do this. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Recitation tone. Ki el melech gadol v'kadosh ata. Now, transition back to, it's not transition actually, it's the key characteristic of the avot section in Ahava Rabbah. Baruch atah Adonai, right? It's clearly Ahava Rabbah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. So let's do that again. Repeat after me. L'Dor Vador nagid godlecha. Do that. L'Dor Vador nagid godlecha. Right. Kamatz katan godlecha. Ulenetzach netzachim, netzach netzachim. Ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatecha nagdish, kedushatecha nagdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu, v'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush, le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ki el melech gadol, v'kadosh ata, Puzzle. Baruch ata Adonai, Baruch ata Adonai. So let's do that again. Baruch ata Adonai. Very, very important that doesn't get done lazily. Baruch atah Adonai. Oops, now we're in a different mode. Baruch. So take your time on it. Make sure you get that raised third, flat second. Baruch atah Adonai. And then we finish with Ha'el HaKadosh. Tell the congregation.
Yeah, that they're going to silent Amida.
Yeah, I mean, it finishes on shh. It's great. Ha'el HaKadosh. Isn't that cool? Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover this week, actually.
That's wonderful.
So we did, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to cover this week, which is good, by the way. It bodes well. I think if there are more people who have more questions, the time we've set aside for this, which is until 8:15, allows us to do that. But also tonight we have Natasha Mann, who's going to be speaking in 6 minutes, so this will be an opportunity for you guys, if you want to go listen to her talk on Jews Like Us. It's going to be a great course. Any questions so far? Okay, you have homework to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend 2 to 3 sittings this week of, if you can handle it, 20 minutes each. I'll remind you. Listen to the audio files. It's, I think I told you, right? newlondon.org.uk/Musaf, M-U-S-A-F. We'll bring you right to that. Oh, I didn't tell you that. You can find it on the menu, or you can go, just type it in, /Musaf.
Oh.
It'll take you right there. Listen for each of the things. I've broken it up into Chatzi Kaddish, and I think it's the first section, and then Mechakel, and then Kedusha. So you've got them in sections there. Listen. So it's very familiar. Sing along with it. You'll probably move to that stage quickly because we've done the work we've done today, and you're not bar mitzvah kids, you're adults. And then sing along. After you've sung along with it and you're really very comfortable with it, try it on your own. There is value to doing it in front of a mirror. You can see what you look like when you're davening. Maybe you don't want to see what you look like when you're davening. That's okay too. But there's something to be said for seeing yourself bending and bowing. You can imagine what the congregation is seeing and how perhaps you can send the message to them most clearly. So those are things. And the last item is, if you have any questions, any thoughts, you want to check something with me, can I run this by you? Can I sing it this way? I practically live in my office, so give me a call, whatever you want, I'm here for you, and we'll meet next week at the same time.
So it's the Chatzi Kaddish and those 3 paragraphs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Chatzi Kaddish, the 3 paragraphs of avot, gevurot, and the kedusha. Yeah, so it's like, I think that's 4 sections of the webpage, but I've never lumped it together. I think also L'Dor Vador, I think I may have put that in a separate.
Anyway, up to and including L'Dor Vador.
Yeah.
And
we'll sing them all together next week. I don't want to put anyone on the spot right now. If we get, when we get to the stage towards the end of the class, we'll have opportunities to do like mock or model davening. Different people will do the different roles and see how we do. Good. It's all right.
do we need to bring this anymore?
You don't need to.
Okay.
No. We'll leave these here. We'll refer to them next week. You don't have to take this one. You can if you want to. Do take your copy of the Siddur, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much, Jason.
My
That's
pleasure.
excellent.
And please be careful as you go out.
Yeah.
Don't trip on the wires.
No.
And thank you all for joining us. Turn that off.
Thank you, Jason.
My pleasure.